Coming up, Shelby Township held its annual visioning session and residents came out to voice what they want to see in 2018. We'll tell you some of the ideas residents had and when you can expect that top 10 list. And 2 officers were promoted, and we have the details on the badge pinning ceremony. And a fun-filled afternoon at Palazzo Grande brought out hundreds of witches to raise money for a good cause. We have all of this and much more on Shelby This Week. Input from residents is highly valued by officials here in Shelby Township. The annual visioning session invited community members to voice their thoughts on what should take priority in the township. Residents placed stickers on the ideas they felt would benefit the township and best represent the community. The session was administered by the Planning and Zoning Department.
Every year the Township Board has establishes top 10 priorities which kind of guide their policy and spending goals for the year. So what they do to establish that is that we start, the department heads meet and kind of generate a list of ideas, and then we vote on them, and then the board votes on them, and then we have this meeting where we invite residents to come in and not only vote on those ideas, but generate some new ideas. So tonight we had, I think, 5 or 6 new ideas that we added to the list that we hadn't even thought about before. So it's real helpful in getting that input.
These ideas generated at the meeting will develop the township's top 10 priorities.
The community center, as I said, is something that everybody really wants to see. And it's not just the community center, of course, is the senior center, the library, and of course new offices for Parks and Rec and also cable TV. So that, without a doubt, was probably a central theme of all the discussion. But roads also played a big part too. And aside from that, the website. So no, I wasn't surprised. As I said, it was just a confirmation of everything we've been talking about for the last, well, I'm going to say 5 years. So I don't see a huge change with the priorities, but we won't know until our third-party consultant actually puts it all together. Because after all, I think we do need to listen to them since they're the ones coming to the window paying the tax bill.
Supervisor Stathakis expects the ideas to be completed sometime in the next week. Keeping our streets and communities safe are the dedicated men and women of the Shelby Township Police Force. Our Stacy Sansatera has more on those officers who were a part of a badge pinning ceremony.
The Shelby Township Police Department promoted 2 commanders recently, filling spots vacated due to retirements.
I'm extremely proud of the 2 promotees, Sergeant McLean and Lieutenant Barnard. They're 2 of our finest. If I give me a pen and say promote anyone you want, it would have been them 2.
Officer Matthew McLean was promoted to the rank of sergeant. He began his career here in 1996.
I take great pride in our police department, and it's a great honor today.
Sergeant McLean is the 3rd generation of police officers in his family and takes great pride in wearing the badge.
We are the most professional police department in Michigan, I believe, and to be promoted today is a great honor.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
Sergeant Patrick Bernard was promoted to the rank of lieutenant. He began his career with the Shelby Township Police Department in January of 1998.
You know, in that time you get to work for a lot of different people, and for me, you know, I've always been pretty good about, if I didn't know something, I was good at identifying command officers that were really good at what they did, and you learn through the examples, and we've had great examples here going through the time I've been here, and that's helped me out a lot.
Lieutenant Barnard has held numerous assignments, including a member of the Macomb County SWAT team, a range instructor, and coordinator of the Field Training Officer Program.
I'm kind of relieved that it's all done with. I mean, you think about this for a long time when you're preparing for the different tests, and you know, for 5 months or so, that's all you're thinking of. So it's good to be all done with it, and it's over, and things can settle down again.
And as things settle down a bit, well, as much as it can when you work in law enforcement, Chief Shalide reminds us of the importance of our police department.
Our officers are the reason why what separates civilized society that we live in and complete anarchy and chaos.
Congratulations to Sergeant Barnard and Lieutenant McLean on much-deserved promotions. For Shelby This Week, I'm Stacy Sansatera.
Bewitched and Bedazzled, a Halloween event brought together both the Rochester and Shelby Township communities.
Bewitched and Bedazzled, this is our second year of doing this event. It is a very exciting event where people get a chance to get dressed up as bedazzling witches, and all of the money that we earn goes to support Meadow Brook Theatre in Rochester Hills. This is very important. We have two major fundraisers a year. We have a fundraiser in April called Luncheon on the Aisle, and this is our second fundraiser of the year, Bewitched and Bedazzled. And all of those funds, 100% of those funds go to support Meadow Brook Theatre. So this is a very important event. Well, we used to actually have this event in a member's home, and people had so much fun, and it outgrew itself. We had so many people that wanted to be part of it that we finally decided to make an event, a formal event. And we found Palazzo Grande the perfect place for us to do this. So it started 2 years ago. The Meadow Brook Theatre Guild is known quite well in the Oakland Township area, but in Macomb County it's not as known as well. And it's just a tremendous theater, professional theater. It's been in business for over 50 years, providing professional theater to the community. So we thought it was important for people in Shelby Township to know about the theater as well.
If you would like to get involved with the Theater Guild, visit them online at meadowbrooktheaterguild.com. We hope you're ready for all the Halloween festivities because the big day is almost here. To prepare for the spooky night, we want to remind you about a few important things while your kids are out. Trick-or-treating will be from 6 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, October 31st. The Shelby Township Police Department will sound off the emergency sirens to begin and end the night. And as hundreds of kids hit the streets to trick-or-treat, it's important to follow a few safety rules to ensure everyone has a fun night. Remember to cross at street corners and use our crosswalks, and decorate your costumes and bags with reflective tape or lights. And if you're driving, be sure to pay close attention in residential areas. Have fun trick-or-treating. And speaking of Halloween, as the day quickly approaches, people of all ages are getting excited for the candy-filled holiday. But for some children, they can't partake in it because of an allergy. Our Courtney Bennett explains how some are working to help make sure every kid gets to enjoy Halloween.
Joey is your typical preschooler. He loves playing with his puppy Jax. His favorite monster truck is his Scooby-Doo one, and he can't wait to dress up like a vampire this Halloween. But Joey has to be careful what kind of candy he eats because of his allergy.
Ever since we first found out when he was 15 months old, we have been reading books and living life still. So we still go trick-or-treating. Since we've moved to Shelby, a lot of our neighbors know that Joey has food allergies, and they even have come and asked me, what kind of stuff can we give Joey so that he feels included?
While the neighborhood they live in is very accommodating to Joey, there have been times he has had to choose something he knows he can't eat. But the Richard family always comes home and makes sure that they get rid of all the items Joey is allergic to.
Every Halloween we dump it out, and then we put a bad fish in a bad pile. I mean, a not safe pile. Then we put a safe stuff in a safe pile. So they're separated.
Across the country, there are many kids who have to come home and get rid of candy they are allergic to. But the Teal Pumpkin Project is here to help kids like Joey feel more included on Halloween.
We love the Teal Pumpkin Project. It is all about kids with any type of food allergy. And if there's a teal pumpkin out, it's great to see because that means that a child could pick from something that's non-food related. There are people with diabetes. There are people with other, immune deficiencies that have to stay away from certain things. So the Teal Pumpkin Project really is, hand out some stuff that maybe isn't food related or homemade, because again, if you can't read it, we can't eat it.
So this Halloween, be on the lookout for these teal pumpkins. And everyone with food allergies are invited to stop by these houses and pick up something that's a little bit different than candy.
Still ahead on Shelby this week, we'll tell you how one disease affects both men and women and how important early detection really is. And a new study looked at whether it's better to sit or stand during the day at work. Stay with us.
The kitchen can be a dangerous place. Please stay in the kitchen when cooking on a stovetop. Please keep children at least 3 feet away from a hot stove. Never leave children alone in a room with a lit candle, as they could get burned or cause a fire. It's a good idea to check your smoke detectors often, once a month. These simple tips can go a long way in keeping your family safe.
Hundreds of people every day are diagnosed with cancer, and one cancer in particular affects both men and women. Our Robert Gambrill tells us about this disease, which impacts the lives of so many.
The big C, cancer, a word that we do not like to hear, a word that affects so many lives. Dr. Nathanson explains why a certain type of cancer affects women and men as well.
The most important thing is to get imaging with mammography. And we recommend that start with women at age 40, and they have it every year. And that's the best way to find breast cancer. We don't want women to feel lumps in their breast, because that's a late stage or a later stage. So we want to find it when it's not palpable, when they can't feel it. We don't know the precise cause yet, but there are 2 major causes that we do know sort of interact together. That's genes, abnormal genes, and the environment. Cancers that arise in the ducts, the milk ducts in the breast, that's the most common type.
This year, just over 2,400 men will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and I had the pleasure to talk to a male breast cancer survivor.
I was vaguely aware that men get breast cancer, but it's rare. It's about 1/100th of the incidence that women get breast cancer. And I will tell men this: whenever you're in the shower and you're soaping yourself up, keep your mind busy, keep your mind alert. But anything that you feel that you don't think should be there, get it checked out.
If you have been diagnosed with breast cancer, here's some encouragement and advice from some survivors.
You have to stay positive. I mean, the nurses always said that if you come in gloom and doom, it decreases your chances tenfold. You have to stay positive. You have to, just know that you're going to have some bad days and some great days, and focus on family.
Thank God I'm a survivor. Just do all the treatments that they tell you. Don't skip out on anything, and hopefully they catch it in time, because that's very important.
Faith over fear, follow the directions from your doctors, take support from your family and friends, and just be strong and move forward.
If you have breast cancer, just remember to stay positive, just like these survivors, and always keep a smile on your face. I'm Robert Gambrill, Shelby This Week.
Having a desk job can actually be helping your health. A study published in the American Journal of Epidemiology found people who have jobs which require them to stand are twice as likely to develop heart disease. The study looked at over 7,000 people over the course of 12 years. At the beginning, none of the participants had heart disease, but researchers found by the end the workers who were required to stand for long periods of time had double the risk of developing heart disease compared to those employees who sat for most of their day. Researchers want you to know it's okay to stand occasionally on the job, but if your job requires you to primarily stand, they recommend sitting down when feeling tired. Many people who've incorporated a standing desk in their office by choice. People who are able to do it all, stand, sit, and walk throughout the day at their job, have positive health benefits. With Thanksgiving still several weeks away, stores have started to announce their closures on the holiday. For a few years now, some national stores have opened their doors early, and customers have flocked to start their Christmas shopping right after finishing their big meal. Many face the backlash that it's forcing employees to often miss time spent with family. Now several stores are taking a stand and closing their doors on Thanksgiving Day. Here's a list of the retailers so far who will not be opening on Thanksgiving: Burlington Coat Factory, Costco, DSW Designer Shoe Warehouse, Lowe's, Marshall's, Nordstrom's, PetSmart, Sam's Club, and Cabela's. Support a local organization and enjoy a fun night out. The Shelby Township Lions will present their annual wine tasting. The event is sponsored by BB's Liquor and Fine Wine at 21 and Shaner. Anyone aged 21 and older is invited to try wine, fine liquors, and craft beer. 100% of the proceeds go towards Leader Dogs for the Blind. The event will be at Palazzo Grande on Van Dyke in Shelby Township. Join the Shelby Township Lions on Friday, November 3rd from 6:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. for a little wine. Colder weather is on its way, and when that happens, hitting the pavement to get in a little exercise might be difficult. Our Courtney Bennett found one local business where it doesn't matter what it's like outside, they're always open on the inside.
The weather here in the state of Michigan will soon be changing, and it might be a little difficult to find time to exercise outside. But here at Recycle Fitness, they have found a way to take your love of biking and take it indoors to find the perfect environment to get your daily workout in.
Recycle Fitness is, I would say it's a community. People who want to live a healthy lifestyle and have fun doing it, squeezing it into their already crazy busy lives. However, they can make it happen, because I don't think there's one person that comes through these doors that just has a lot of extra time on their schedule. Cycling alone is a very safe sport for many people, but indoor cycling even more so, because people of all ages with many different issues, hips, knees, backs, still often have the opportunity to do this activity because the bikes adjust. Someone with like a lower back issue, we can raise up the handlebars, we can make them more comfortable. Knees, actually, it's a lubricating movement, and the only thing with knees, occasionally it's hard for them to come up or sit down. You can stay seated the whole time. We accommodate different issues all the time. So really what it is you need about 4 or 5 minutes to be set up properly on the bike. And if somebody takes that time with you, where it's either us at Recycle Fitness, it's either the owners or one of our instructors, takes the time with all our new clients to make sure they know how to handle the bike. And once you know the tips and the tricks to take a break when you need to, or make it harder when you need to, then the class is yours.
Jessica encourages everyone to try cycling and make every workout yours. If you are interested in taking a class at the studio here in Shelby Township, visit recyclefitness.com. This is Courtney Bennett reporting for Shelby This Week.
Coming up next, several students from Eisenhower High School are taking the stage for a murder mystery play. We'll take you into one of their rehearsals and talk to the director about their upcoming performance. And it was the last regular season game for high school football. Find out how your favorite home team did during Week 9 highlights.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul.
Estimated time, 47 hours.
They will beg.
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
They will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out.
Now you're talking.
Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls second.
Are you orange?
Eisenhower High School is preparing for a big night. On November 3rd, the theater students will take the stage for their production of The Murder Mystery at the Murder Mystery.
It's basically a play within a play. So if the audience doesn't know what's happening at first, they think it's just like a normal play that they're seeing, but then you hear from the audience the director yell stop, and so people are kind of like shocked, like what's happening? Why is this person in the audience yelling? But then they kind of realize that it's a play within a play.
I actually let the kids choose this one. This is one that I wanted the genre of a murder mystery comedy. We hadn't really done that one before. I like to give them a different variety of shows. Last year we did melodrama. We've done comedies, we've done dramas. So I picked the genre of murder mystery comedy, and then they picked this show.
I just hope that they have a good time, and just, with like everything that's happening in the world, to just like let go and just like have a good time and just laugh.
It's a good night out. It's cheap. It's only $8 for adults. $6 for students and for senior citizens, so it's cheaper than a movie a lot of times. Live theater is a great art form, and it's a great way to connect with people. I always say that, you know, we're in such a digital world where we're always looking at our phones, where this is a way to connect with people.
The production will be on November 3rd through the 5th. To purchase tickets, visit showtix4u.com. Tickets will also be available at the door. The Eisenhower Eagles and the Utica Chieftains have played great regular season games. Sadly, the seasons are coming to an end, but there still is plenty of football to be had because playoff games are about to begin. Here are your Week 9 highlights.
Week 9 football action as your Eisenhower Eagles seek back-to-back undefeated seasons, traveling to Runkle Field to take on the Henry Ford II Falcons. Quarterback Jack Morris would get the ground game going for the Eagles as he takes it himself all the way down into Falcons territory. Later in the drive, Morris fakes the handoff, and it's green grass in front of him as he jogs his way in for the first score of the game, putting the Eagles up 7-0. This time Morris steps back to pass, and he connects with a wide open Assad Buhaidar, and Buhaidar puts the Eagles up 14-0 early in the first quarter. Now in the second quarter, Buhaidar takes the handoff on the end around, gets upfield, and it takes 3 Falcon defenders to get him down, but not before he gets all the way down into the red zone. And Morris would finish off the drive for his second rushing touchdown of the game. As the Eagles extend their lead to 21, the Falcons would try to stop the bleeding as quarterback Noah Heide connects with Jaquan Clark, and Clark outraces a flock of Eagle defenders and takes it all the way down near the goal line. But with 4 chances on the doorstep, the Falcons are unable to convert as a Henry Janeway sack turns the ball back over to the Eagles, falling an Eagles field goal to make it 24-0. Noah Heide rolls out to pass, and he is picked off by number 4, John Fantauzo, setting up the offense with great field position before halftime. And Jack Morris would make his counterpart pay for his mistake as he finds Ben Metz wide open in the middle of the field, and he goes untouched all the way into the end zone to put the Eagles up 31-0 at the halftime break. And now in the third quarter, Morris looking for Massimo Di Aristotle, but it is tipped at the line by Luke Heide, setting up an easy pick for Nathan George. But even with great field position, the Falcons would only muster up a field goal, cutting the Eagles' lead to 28. Jack Morris would throw his third pickoff of the game, and his second to number 3, Hayden Kelly. And Kelly gets a nice block and works it into Eagles territory. But the ensuing drive would stall out yet again as the Falcons settle for another field goal. And number 32 running back Caleb Oyster adds to his impressive breakout junior year with this 68-yard touchdown run as the Eagles go on to win from a final score of 38-20. Next up, a familiar foe, the Utica Chieftains in the first round of the playoffs.
Utica runs onto the field with their fate in their own hands as they take on Stevenson for a shot to get into the playoffs. Some defense for the Utica Chieftains. Elijah Hugh. Big interception right here. Tyler Saluk. And he's gone. Pick 6. Stevenson driving in the red zone. But Michael Fox is there to break up this pass. Kayvon Higdon out of the gun. Takes the corner. And he is gone. 85 yards for the touchdown to bring the score up to 14-0. Calvin Cito with a nice run here. Justin McCown back to pass with a slant down the middle to Brandon Szymanski. Finally in the red zone, Justin McCown tipped by a Stevenson player right into the breadbasket of Chris Nixon. And it's 14-7 going into the half. Hitesh Kumar for the Utica Chieftains, busting it into the secondary. Kayvon Higdon, sweep right, down to the 17-yard line. Then Kayvon Higdon from 15 yards out, bringing the score to 21-7. Stevenson punting, but the snap goes over the punter's head, and Utica recovers at the 14-yard line. Juan Walker. Kayvon Higdon sliding all the way down to the 3, setting up this. Number 81, Kurt Kessens, bulls his way into the end zone, putting Utica up 28-7. Stevenson trying to get back into Justin McCown, back to pass. Over the middle, Brandon Szymanski going even deeper into Utica territory. McCown launches a bomb to Mario Kezi. And then topping off the drive is Calvin Cito to bring the score at 28-14. Stevenson trying to get back into it. Calvin Cito, onside kick, and he recovers the ball. They take over. McCown back to pass, but sacked by Brendan DeHaan. But Stevenson would fight back. Kristen Bataille bringing in this bomb from Justin McCown. Calvin Cito off of this quick pass with some nice moves to avoid Chieftain defenders. Then Calvin Cito in for the final Stevenson touchdown. Stevenson will recover the kickoff, but Utica's defense would step up and stop them, bringing us to our final score. Utica Chieftains 28, Stevenson Titans 21. And that would propel the Utica Chieftains into the playoffs, where they would face the Eisenhower Eagles.
That's it for us here at Shelby this week. Check us out all the time on our Facebook page. Just search Shelby TV. Keeping you in the fall spirit, here's some scenes from Heritage Gardens, where autumn scarecrows are on display. Enjoy, and thanks for watching.